This person walking around in one of Mexico's highest security prisons is no ordinary man, but the world's biggest and most dangerous drug smuggler. The interesting part is that despite such tight security and constant surveillance, El Chapo walks towards the Shar area and then disappears from the sight of the security staff. Half an hour later, when they became suspicious, they went into the cell, but the world's biggest drug smuggler had already escaped. Let's take a look at El Chapo's life and his escape on Michael TV. Or in 1957, in a small town in Mexico called Badiraguato, El Chapo's real name is Joaquín Guzmán, but later, he named himself El Chapo. He inherited the habit of drug trading from his father, who was also a small-time drug dealer. His father kicked him out of the house at a young age. With no job to sustain himself, El Chapo started selling drugs. At just 15, he began growing drugs for himself. He would choose secluded areas and grow marijuana there. Gradually, his drug trade grew so much that big drug dealers in Mexico wanted him in their gang. In the 1970s, he joined a drug trading gang named El Gurro Palma. In this gang, he supervised drug smuggling. He was so strict in his work that if a delivery was late or there was even a small mistake, he would kill the dealer. In the 1980s, he joined the most famous drug dealer of the time. This gang was the biggest drug trading gang in Mexico. El Chapo was given the responsibility of logistics and drug shipments in this gang. His job was to oversee the drugs coming from Colombia to Mexico. However, in 1989, the gang leader was caught by federal agencies, and the gang disbanded. Taking advantage of the situation, El Chapo formed his own gang, which he named the Sinaloa Cartel. Now, drugs were being delivered to the U.S. through two routes. Most drugs came via the Caribbean, and the other route was through the Mexican borders. American agencies were focused on the Caribbean route, and many drug dealers and gangs were caught. Heroin, ecstasy, cocaine, and marijuana gave him the most profit, so he focused more on these drugs. However, smuggling drugs into the U.S. was not easy, and he carried out this task with great cunning. Initially, he used to smuggle drugs like cocaine, which did not have a strong smell, and fire extinguishers, chili pepper cans, or car rims, which even drug-sniffing dogs couldn't detect. But the problem was that other drugs couldn't be smuggled this way, so he adopted a method that became his trademark: tunnels. He invested millions of dollars and hired experts to build tunnels underground with full electrical and ventilation systems. Through these tunnels, he started smuggling drugs into the U.S. In 1990, FBI officers were stunned when they found El Chapo's first tunnel. The tunnel was 300 feet long and fully equipped with electricity. The tunnel led to a house that served as El Chapo's safe house, from which he could escape in case of an emergency. He knew all the rules of the trade, so despite many efforts, he was never caught. In November 2010, another tunnel was found in Otay Mesa with similar facilities. Additionally, a rail system was installed to transport debris during construction and drugs afterward. More tunnels were discovered in Tijuana in 2012 and again in Otay Mesa in 2013. Seeing his skill, El Chapo and his gang were called the King of Tunnels. He built his tunnels so deep that ground-penetrating radar machines couldn't detect them, and he cleverly concealed the entrances, like under a bathroom tub or toilet. Before building tunnels, he chose locations very carefully. He primarily chose to smuggle through the US-Mexico border city of Otay Mesa for three reasons. First, it was close to two major transport hubs, Tijuana and San Diego, making it easy to transport drugs to agents. Second, it was an industrial area with many factories, and the noise from the factories helped hide the noise of digging. Third, the soil there was soft due to the nearby ocean. making digging easier, while the mountains on the other side provided strength to the soft ground, making the tunnels more stable. In every way, this city was ideal for El Chapo's tunnels. On June 9, 1993, Mexican authorities finally caught El Chapo and sentenced him to 20 years in prison. However, the prison also became his office. He bribed the jail staff to get every facility for himself, and even arranged business meetings to keep his operations running. In 2001, the Supreme Court of Mexico made a decision that eased the process of exchanging prisoners between the United States and Mexico. El Chapo knew that the US government would demand his extradition because of drug smuggling, and escaping from there would be difficult. So, he planned his escape from the Mexican prison. He bribed the guards with millions of dollars and escaped by hiding in a laundry basket. For the next 13 years, he continued his drug trade and other crimes without getting caught, keeping both the US and Mexican governments on edge. However, after 13 years of effort, Mexican agencies discovered his exact location and raided his house. Once again, he had an escape plan in place. He entered a secret tunnel under the bathtub in the bathroom, but the authorities didn't let him get far, and he was captured again. This time, he was sent to Mexico's most secure prison, Altiplano Maximum Security Prison, under special surveillance. But only a year later, on July 11, 2015, while he was walking in his cell, he was last seen near the shower area at 8:50 p.m. The shower area was the only part of his cell not visible to the camera. About half an hour later, when he wasn't seen on camera, the cell was inspected, and by the time the guards entered, El Chapo was gone. He had cleverly enlarged the shower drain and dug a tunnel connected to a larger one below. This tunnel led to a construction site 5 kilometers away. It was 33 feet underground and 5 feet 7 inches wide, large enough for a person to pass through easily. But this time, his freedom was short-lived. On January 8, 2016, Mexican Marines raided his safe house in Los Mochis, and after intense resistance, he was captured again. This time, the American government didn't want to take any risks, so in 2017, El Chapo was extradited to the US, where he is serving his life sentence in the Supermax prison in Colorado. But the truth is that no matter how much security is in place, the American government always fears that El Chapo might escape again. We hope you liked and shared this video from Michael TV. Thank you so much for your lovely comments. See you in the next fantastic video.